Hey, Cowboys Nation. Welcome back to another deep dive into everything going on with America's team. We got a lot to cover today, and it's a mix of highs and lows that every fan is going to want to hear. Starting with some of the tougher news first. Juan Thomas has been placed on the reserve non-football illness list. For those of you keeping track, this isn't a typical injury. It's connected to the migraines he's been battling, and that has everyone on edge. Migraines are no joke, and when they linger as long as they have for Thomas, it's naturally a concern. He was able to come back for a game not too long ago, showing flashes of his capabilities, but now this setback forces the team to adjust. It's always a tricky balance when you're managing a roster that's already been stretched thin, especially in the safety room, which has been dealing with injuries and absences for weeks. Thomas had stepped into a starting role, and while he hadn't been flawless, he was an important piece of the rotation. Losing him means the Cowboys have to rethink how they approach their defensive schemes for the coming games. Safety depth is crucial, and every adjustment can ripple through the entire defensive unit. Don Wilson might be returning this week, which is encouraging, but there are still questions about other key players, and the timing of when everyone gets healthy is critical. The roster shuffle doesn't stop there, though. Elijah Clark's status has been uncertain, and while some expected him to be put on injured reserve, Thomas ended up being the one on the non-football illness list instead. These types of roster moves can be subtle yet impactful, and they affect the strategy coaches will use in both practice and in games. On the brighter side of things, the Cowboys are welcoming back two players who could make a significant difference. Demarion Overshown has been activated from the physically unable to perform list, and his return is highly anticipated. Overshown has shown in limited action that he's capable of influencing games, whether it's through his coverage, tackling, or ability to disrupt opposing offenses. The hope is that he comes back at full strength, though it's likely that the team will carefully manage his workload to ensure he stays healthy and effective. Overshown's presence opens up possibilities for creative defensive alignments, whether he's used as an off-ball linebacker in certain packages, allowed to blitz at key moments, or integrated into specialized formations that exploit his athleticism. Pairing him with someone like Logan Wilson could create matchup nightmares for opposing quarterbacks, especially in high-pressure situations. Patience will be key here, as the coaching staff wants to maximize Overshown's impact without overextending him early in his return. The Cowboys' defense needs every boost it can get, and having a player of Overshown's caliber back on the field brings optimism to fans who have been following the ups and downs of the season. His experience, even in a limited sample size, has already demonstrated that he can be a game-changer, and the team will likely be deliberate in integrating him back into the rotation gradually. Meanwhile, Savone Revel is getting his first opportunity to play as an official member of the Dallas Cowboys after being on the non-foot injury list due to an injury sustained before entering the NFL. His return adds another layer of depth to the cornerback position, giving the team more options in coverage and potentially easing the burden on other starters. Revel has the prototypical traits that coaches love in an outside corner: length, athleticism, ball skills, and the ability to match up against top receivers. His presence allows the Cowboys to rotate more effectively in the secondary, and it could also influence how other players are deployed, including Reddy Stewart, who has been serving as the emergency safety in previous weeks. The addition of Revel, along with Kalen Carson, Triquiz Bridges, Don Blank, Kyer Elam, and others, brings the team to a strong six-deep rotation at corner, not including players like C.J. Goodwin, who could be utilized situationally. This depth is essential when managing snap counts, avoiding overuse of returning players, and planning for long-term sustainability throughout the season. It also presents interesting questions for the coaching staff regarding how they'll integrate Revel into schemes and packages. Will he start immediately, or will they carefully manage his snaps to maximize his long-term potential? These are the kinds of decisions that can have ripple effects on the defense's overall performance. In addition to these roster updates, there's been movement on the practice squad. John Christian has been signed off the Cowboys practice squad by the Denver Broncos, which is a minor loss but worth noting. With the departure of Christian, only Wesley French remains from the offensive lineman on the practice squad, highlighting the importance of monitoring depth and potential emergency signings. The Cowboys have the flexibility to adjust, but every change has to be considered carefully, especially as injuries and roster management continue to be significant factors in the team's strategy. These shifts, combined with returning players, create a dynamic environment where every week presents both opportunities and challenges for coaches and players alike. Looking at the broader picture, this combination of setbacks and returns exemplifies the push-and-pull nature of football at the highest level. The Cowboys are in a position where they must balance optimism with realism. While returning players like Overshown and Revel inject excitement and potential, losses such as Thomas's absence remind us of the fragility of rosters and the importance of strategic planning. It also emphasizes the mental and physical resilience required of players as they navigate health concerns, practice routines, and game day responsibilities. Fans can expect a period of adjustment as the team integrates returning talent while compensating for absences. Coaches will be monitoring snap counts, rotations, and situational deployment closely, aiming to get the best performance without compromising long-term health. Each game brings new challenges, and the team's ability to adapt quickly will be a determining factor in sustaining competitiveness over the course of the season. From a tactical standpoint, having Overshown back allows the Cowboys to expand their defensive playbook. His versatility provides options for off-ball linebacker roles, spy assignments, and blitz packages that can pressure quarterbacks in critical situations. Meanwhile, Revel's addition strengthens the perimeter defense and potentially frees up other players to operate more effectively in their assignments. This combination of returning and new talent allows the coaching staff to experiment with formations, rotations, and coverage schemes that can maximize the team's strengths while mitigating vulnerabilities. The balance between immediate impact and long-term development is delicate, but the potential payoff is significant. The Cowboys' ability to maintain performance, manage injuries, and integrate returning players will be central to how successful they are in the upcoming games. Now, shifting our focus a bit, let's dive deeper into what these roster moves mean for the Cowboys as they approach the next stretch of games. The return of Demarion Overshown isn't just a numerical boost to the defense. It fundamentally changes the way the coaching staff can scheme and react in real time. When you have a player with a skill set, you can suddenly create multiple layers of pressure without sacrificing coverage integrity. Overshown's ability to read the field, diagnose plays quickly, and engage in both man and zone coverage gives the Cowboys an edge they've been missing while he's been sidelined. Even with a careful snap count to preserve his health, just knowing he is available changes how opponents approach their offensive game plans. Quarterbacks have to be wary of his presence. Receivers may see different coverage looks, and running backs might hesitate in passing lanes because Overshown is a player capable of making game-changing plays when properly utilized. His versatility is especially valuable in third-and-long scenarios and in red zone defense, where one wrong move can cost a team dearly. The anticipation of seeing him back on the field has fans buzzing, and understandably so, because the Cowboys' defense has been in need of a boost that only someone of Overshown's caliber can provide. Meanwhile, Savone Revel's integration into the team offers a slightly different but equally important impact. While Overshown immediately affects high-stakes defensive situations, Revel is all about stability, depth, and long-term growth. Cornerback depth has always been a focal point in building a sustainable defensive strategy, and having Revel now gives the Cowboys flexibility to rotate players without losing effectiveness. His physical traits, length, agility, and ball skills make him an ideal fit for outside coverage, but it's his adaptability that could be most important over the course of the season. The coaching staff can mix and match personnel, experiment with different matchups, and even slightly adjust their defensive philosophy, knowing they have someone like Revel who can step in reliably. In situations where other corners might be fatigued or facing injury concerns, Revel allows the team to maintain a high level of performance without overexposing any single player. It's a subtle advantage, but in the long grind of the season, these details matter more than many fans realize. The ability to rotate confidently at key positions is often the difference between a defense that holds strong late in games and one that collapses under pressure. The dynamic created by Thomas's absence, juxtaposed with these returns, is fascinating. On one hand, losing a starter due to health issues is never ideal, but on the other hand, it forces the team to think creatively and test the depth of their roster. Players who might not have seen significant snaps now have opportunities to step up, proving themselves in live-game scenarios and potentially emerging as unexpected contributors. Reddy Stewart, for example, has been in the emergency safety role for some time, and now with Thomas out, there could be more snaps allocated to him. This creates a domino effect that affects not only defensive rotations, but also practice intensity, positional coaching focus, and overall team chemistry. How players respond in these moments can shape the season, and it's moments like these that reveal the resilience, adaptability, and leadership qualities of both veterans and younger players alike. Each adjustment, whether minor or major, is a test of depth, preparation, and mindset. Looking at potential usage scenarios for Overshown and Revel, the possibilities are extensive. Overshown can serve as a spy on mobile quarterbacks, a blitzer in specific sub-packages, or even slide into a traditional linebacker role, depending on the formation. This opens up creative approaches for the defensive coordinator, who can now implement more complex schemes without leaving gaps in coverage. With offenses increasingly sophisticated, having a chess piece like Overshown allows the Cowboys to match strategies and make game-time adjustments with confidence. Meanwhile, Revel's skill set enables the team to handle wide receiver rotations, man-cover challenges, and situational packages that previously might have taxed the starters. Together, they add a layer of unpredictability to the Cowboys' defense, something that opponents will need to account for in every game plan. This unpredictability can be especially critical in divisional matchups, where small adjustments often determine the outcome. The ongoing challenge, however, is balancing immediate effectiveness with long-term health management. Overshown's return, while exciting, will almost certainly be gradual in terms of snap count. The coaching staff will likely design packages that leverage his strengths while minimizing exposure to high-contact situations until he is fully back to form. Similarly, Revel might see strategic deployment in third-down scenarios or against specific receivers, slowly ramping up to full-time responsibility. This patience is key because the Cowboys need both players healthy over the full course of the season to truly maximize their potential. Injuries, whether minor or major, can derail momentum, and the team's approach seems focused on blending short-term impact with sustainable development. This is a nuanced strategy, one that involves not just evaluating physical readiness, but also mental preparation, chemistry with teammates, and familiarity with the evolving playbook. Every snap is part of a larger picture, and managing these pieces carefully can make the difference in tight games. But before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. Rumors are swirling around the NFL after Philadelphia Eagles star quarterback JALEN HURTS reportedly took a not-so-subtle shot at the Dallas Cowboys, igniting one of the most heated rivalries in American sports once again. What began as a casual comment in a post-practice interview has turned into a full-blown storm of reactions, speculation, and social media chaos, the kind that only the Eagles-Cowboys feud can produce. According to several insiders close to the team, Hurts was asked about the level of competition in the NFC East and didn't hold back. His response, described by one source as sharp, confident, and maybe a little calculated, seemed to suggest that the Cowboys talk more than they deliver. The remarks spread like wildfire within minutes, and by the time the team left the field, #Hurts vs. Dallas was already trending nationwide. While some fans have applauded Hurts for showing passion and leadership, others, especially in Dallas, have taken offense, calling the comments disrespectful and out of line. Cowboys players reportedly didn't appreciate the jab either, with whispers from the locker room suggesting that more than one star took Hurts' words personally. "He knows what he's doing," said one anonymous player. "You don't poke the star unless you're ready for the heat." Eagles insiders, however, insist that Hurts wasn't trying to start a war, merely to remind everyone that his team sets the standard in the division. Yet, sources say the quarterback has no regrets. Those close to him describe Hurts as laser-focused and fiercely competitive, someone who thrives on proving doubters wrong. Whether intentional or not, the spark has been lit. The rivalry between Philadelphia and Dallas, already one of the fiercest in football, now has fresh fuel. Fans, analysts, and even former players are weighing in, some calling it the shot heard around the NFC East. One thing is clear. Jalen Hurts' words didn't come cheap, and the echoes of this verbal clash are bound to last long after the final whistle. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Dallas Cowboys, please subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. We always look forward to your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.